How's it going, people? And welcome back to another show. Hope you guys are keeping well. As you guys can see in the title, Berta is cooking, and I'll get on to the reasons why. You can see at the bottom of your screen, Gyokeres and Mosquera are pretty much done. But the question is Eberiche Eze next? So let's get straight into it, guys. If you're new around here, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to share the video if you like it, all the way to other people. So yeah, it basically keeps me going, and obviously makes me keep doing stuff like this, and it helps my channel grow. I'm on my way to 100, guys. Help a brother out if you're liking the videos and the content. Don't worry, we'll keep developing as the season potentially starts and progress, and we'll keep getting better to bring you more great content. But yeah, listen, Arsenal are being the team. It's like, Father Christmas has come early. He's become a team that just basically just keeps giving, and it's getting more and more exciting. It's like we started off slowly with certain signings underwhelming, and everyone was like, that's not okay. I get it. Like with the Kepa one, we're like, okay, we get it. We needed a backup goalkeeper, but another Chelsea player. And then we go no gun, and we're like, okay. And then things start hitting up. Then Zubimendi got announced. And then it was a case of we're gonna be getting Gyokeres, then we're gonna be getting Mosquera, and then Noni Madweke, and then is Eze gonna be next? And you're just like, oh my god, the excitement, honestly, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yesterday, if you haven't already watched it, I did a video yesterday basically stating that Arsenal have agreed have an agreement in principle with Sporting in regards to Gyökeres. Obviously, that was a breaking news yesterday. It's like it's becoming Arsenal's favorite day of the week, Sundays, when we get that bomber. That's the new word going around now. The transfer bomber, the Ornstein bomber. We got that Ornstein bomber yesterday who basically said Arsenal had already agreed a deal in principle with Sporting to sign Victor Gyökeres. All the things are getting in place, all the paperwork are getting exchanged, and hopefully this week Gyökeres will have his medical, he will have done all his media work, and he'll be able to travel with Arsenal to Asia. That's where basically we're going to be having most of our pre-season games. I believe in Singapore and in Hong Kong, I believe it is, if I'm correct. And yeah, Arsenal are going to Asia for their tour. But the main breaking news within the last, let's say, 24 to 48 hours is Arsenal have agreed a deal with Sporting to sign Victor Gyökeres, and it's looking like we've also agreed a deal, I believe, with Valencia to sign Christian Mosquera. Guys, like Andrew Berta is cooking. I don't care what anyone says. We had the breaking news earlier today. Fabrizio Romano dropping that transfer bomber, basically saying Christian Mosquera to Arsenal. Here we go. There's three famous words. That's what is like music to your ears, especially when it's regarding your own football club. Verbal agreement in place with formal steps to follow. 15 million euros fees plus add-ons, total package under 20 million euros, long-term deal in place. Mosquera, who only wanted Arsenal medical ready later this week if all goes to plan. And like a lot of people in Arsenal have said that we only go for players that basically want to sign for Arsenal. It's either you want to sign for Arsenal or you don't. And if you want to sign for Arsenal, we're going to basically come in for you and we're going to get you. And a lot of these players are basically saying, I want to join just Arsenal. And it all started with Zubimendi, in my opinion, where last season he could have gone to Liverpool last summer. And as soon as he heard that Arsenal may be interested, he basically backed out the deal and said, I'm going to stay another season. And then next season, as in this summer, I'm going to join Arsenal. And that news obviously broke in January earlier this year. And then we were like, oh, we're going to be getting Zubimendi in the summer. And you kind of knew, and you're thinking, that's a massive coup. And then now the Victor Gyökeres, he made it clear to the point where my guy decided and he said, I'm not going back to training. I'm telling you now, Sporting, don't expect me back in preseason training because I want to go to Arsenal. That is the only club. I don't even want to chat to the Saudis. I don't even want to chat to Man United. I want to go to Arsenal Football Club. He made it clear. He said it and he's getting his way. And apparently, obviously, in regards to that deal, the agent fees had to be cut by 10%, I believe it was. The transfer fee basically was a little bit under what Sporting was holding out for because they kind of have a player there where It's worth about 63 to 70 million euros, and he's basically digging his heels into the ground and saying, "I'm not coming back to Sporting for pre-season, so don't expect me to come back because I want to make my dreams come true and I want to go to Arsenal Football Club." And obviously, the president of Sporting was basically as well digging his foot in and saying, "Until Arsenal, who knows what they're doing, and they manage to until they want to pay your market value, you're not going to Arsenal." And 24 hours later, what happens? We got the transfer bumper. And literally it was Gyokeres to Arsenal. Here we go. Deal in principle. Agreed. Fees, that. And he just went crazy. It went crazy. It kind of reminded me when they dropped the whole Noni Madueke deal almost around 11 p.m. The other, however many days ago. And you're thinking, is this what we needed around this time of the night? For real. And obviously, he left the Chelsea camp, traveling to London. And obviously, subsequently, Chelsea actually won the Club World Cup. I'm assuming he's going to get a medal, even though he didn't play in the final, but he participated. So he should get a medal regardless. However, Chelsea, congrats to them. Kudos to them. I do hate, but I'll congratulate them. It is what it is. But we're here to talk about Arsenal Football Club. Let me know in the comments below how excited you guys are in regards to Gyökeres, this prospect of Gyökeres coming to Arsenal. Just to remind you guys in regards to exactly what we're going to be getting in Victor Gyökeres, and I was looking at this and I was like, oh my God, is this really potentially how poor we was last season in regards to how many goals we didn't basically score? And you can see here on the screen, guys, it basically shows that last season alone, Arsenal combined these five players in terms of Havertz, Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, and Odegaard. Between them, they scored 53 goals between them. And I know you're going to say it's the Portuguese league compared to the Premier League is a little bit more easier in the Portuguese league. But the fact of the matter is, you still got to put the ball in the back of the net. It doesn't matter how you do it, whether it's a header, whether it's a penalty, whether it's a free kick. You put the ball in the back of the net. And Gyökeres alone by himself, he scored 54 goals for Sporting in all comps, in all competition, scoring one more goal than five players at Arsenal. That's basically what we're hoping to get. Yes, can it translate into the Premier League? That is the hope. That is the prayer. And hopefully that will be what we get in Victor Gyökeres, considering what he's been doing. It's not like he's new. He's been doing this for a few seasons now at Sporting. So we can't say, oh, we don't know what we're going to get. It's not the finished article. He's basically going into his prime. He is 27 years old. 27 years old. And he's going into his prime, Victor Gyökeres. It's mad to think about the caliber of player that we're going to be potentially getting. And I think another reason I was reading in regards to Victor Gyökeres in regards to the fees was sort of a stomping that, hence the reason why Sporting wanted as much as they were holding out for, because I believe apparently I believe it was, I think Brighton, where he initially came from, they've got a sell-on clause. Initially, that was 15%. They had dropped it down to 10%. And I think it was Coventry, where he initially came from as well. They also have a sell-on clause as well. And I think this is one of the reasons why Sporting were holding out for the highest fee as much as possible. However, when you've got a player who was refusing to come back to pre-season and is digging his heels in and saying, I've made it clear we had a gentleman's agreement last season that I'm going to stay for one more season. I'm going to help you guys win the league. I've basically held up my side of the bargain. So it's now your turn to hold up your end of the bargain. And Sporting's president was basically going on quite long and basically saying, well, that basically gentleman agreement is non and void. Is based. I didn't do that. It was the old president. So why should I have to honor that? And Gyökeres said, you know what, you guys are taking a piss. I held up my end of the bargain, and you guys basically told me win us the league, and then you can go in the summer, so long the team that's willing to buy you is willing to pay the fees. And Arsenal were willing to pay what they thought Gyökeres was worth. And when you've got a player, I mean, as a sport, to be fair, in any sort of organization, in any entities, when you have an employee who doesn't want to either come to work or, as basically stated, I no longer want to be in this sort of establishment and I want to go elsewhere, what do you do? Especially when in this market you can potentially make some money off of them. It's a case of, what do you then do? You're gonna have to sell. It's as simple as that. And it was one of those ones where, do you then basically leave him in exile and say, you know what, if you're gonna put up a front, okay, you know what, you can play with the reserves, whatever it may be, under 21s, you name it, and then your market value is gonna go down. So it's like, do you want to potentially do that, or do you want to actually get some money, some reasonable amount of money for your careers? And you know, I'm glad that I came to some form of agreement. And I read earlier today that the relationship between Arsenal Football Club and Sporting themselves remains intact. It's not the relationship between the two football clubs. It was more obviously Gyökeres part that was actually pushing for the move, and apparently the negotiation was quite smooth. Regardless of whatever we've read in the media, people saying that Arsenal are doing this and Sporting are doing that. Yes, at the end of the day, every organization, every team wants the best values. Like Arsenal, for example, where we're hearing like Bayern Munich want Trossard, we're gonna be like, okay, he's worth X amount, and Bayern Munich are gonna be like, hold on a minute, this guy's about 30 years old. He didn't really, he's in his probably in his last year of contract. This is how much we think he's worth. So it's now up to us to actually say, you know what, okay, we can renegotiate. What How much are you willing to pay? This is what Let's meet somewhere in the middle. It's as simple as that. It's just unfortunately that's just how the football market works. It's about negotiation. And at the end of the day, it's all about how much you are willing to pay for your player. It's as simple as that. It is. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments, because I am so excited. I was saying it yesterday in my video when I said Gyökeres to Arsenal. I was so excited to have heard those three words. Here we go. You see those three words? It's like magic. It's like it just makes sense shivers down your spine to say, especially when it's connected to your own team. Like I said, when you hear Fabrizio Romano saying, "Here we go," you're just like, "Oh, here we go." Literally, you're so excited because as Arsenal fans, it's been such a long time. We have been waiting for an out and out striker since Lacazette, since Aubameyang, and you're just missing. And then obviously 2 seasons ago, we thought we were going to get a striker. We ended up getting Havertz. Last season, we thought, okay, you know what, let's get a striker. We ended up getting Marino, and you're thinking, is this guy okay? Oh my day. Gone are the days. I remember this year. I was thinking about remember the time a transfer window, like this is probably years ago now. I'm talking probably about 4 or 5 years ago now when Mikel Arteta first took over, and then Edu was the sporting director, and it was a case of we it's like Edu went over to I think he went over to um Brazil. And there's what I was thinking, my guy was going to get us, I think it was like Rodrigo back then when Rodrigo was still in Brazil. I'm thinking, oh, this guy's gonna go and get us Rodrigo, and this man came back with Pablo Mari. You couldn't write it. You honestly couldn't write it. My guy came back with Pablo Mari. Oh, Andrea Berta flew to Portugal, said I want Gyökeres, and he came back with Gyökeres. You see the levels. When there's levels in this game, there's levels in this game, and that's the reason why they call Andrea Berta the octopus, and they call him the octopus for a reason, because as we have heard throughout this summer transfer window, he's always doing multiple deals at the same time. I mean, there was times when he was basically negotiating the Gyökeres and a Sesko deal at the same time. Hence the reason for the nickname, the Octopus, and it was also negotiating deals for Mosquera, for potentially Eze, for Gyökeres, for Noni Madueke. We saw that one at the blue that came out of nowhere. Then we had Christian Norgard. So there was all of this, obviously, links that us Arsenal fans are just waking up every day, checking our phones and thinking, so what's next? What's next? Like, we want to be excited. We want to be entertained. But we weren't being excited. Like, you were giving us Kepa and you was giving us Norgard. And then, yeah, Zubimendi came in, but we already knew that since January. And then all of a sudden, and it was Noni Madueke, you're thinking, oh no, not for Chelsea player. And then the big bomber came out yesterday. Gyökeres, and thinking, yes, finally, that striker's coming. And now Gyökeres is coming to Arsenal. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Gyökeres to Arsenal, what are your thoughts? Are you excited as much as I am? As you can see, I am so excited. How excited are you in regards to Gyökeres coming to Arsenal? and also the potential of Mosquera. So with the Mosquera one, as I said, obviously that also came out yesterday and obviously earlier today, should I say, and also the Athletic obviously brought out a statement in regards to that as well, in regards to Arsenal potentially signing Mosquera, agreeing a deal, and obviously he's another potential signing for Arsenal and all that good stuff. So, I mean, yeah, Mosquera. I mean, I'm excited, but obviously then it raises questions in regards to, so if Arsenal are signing Mosquera, then what are we doing in the back line? Is it a case of we'll now need to potentially sell, potentially maybe, let's say York, not York, say York, right? A Kivio, for example. You know, is it a case? Are we doing that? And you guys can see here, Arsenal working to complete a deal for Valencia's Christian Mosquera, as is reported on the Athletic here. Arsenal are working to complete a deal to sign Valencia centre back Christian Mosquera. Personal terms are in place with the 21-year-old, and the two clubs are close to reaching an agreement. It says it here. The North London side were working on a deal to sign Mosquera, um, defensive signing a priority this summer. Arsenal have been active in the transfer market, have already secured the arrival of Zubimendi and Noga from Sociedad and Brentford, retrospectively, alongside Kepa from Chelsea. This is a 21-year-old guy who made 41 appearances last season for Valencia, and featuring in 37 of the 38 La Liga games, and also featured in 3 of the Spain 4 game at the Euro under 2020, under 21 European Championship this summer. And apparently it's reported that obviously that Arsenal want to try and get Mosquera in as soon as possible, possibly before they fly out to the preseason tour um, later on this week. As I've said before, and I'm going to repeat it, Arsenal are due to fly away. They've got a friendly this Saturday against, I believe it's Watford at home. I said at home, but at the training ground, at the Showbar training ground, and then almost immediately they're going to be flying away to the Asia tour. So they want to get Gyokeres in, they want to get Mosquera in, and there's a potential of another signing. Let me know before I move on to the next one. Let me know in regards to Mosquera. What do you know about Mosquera? How much do you know about him? I'm not gonna lie to you. This was a name that I didn't even know of. I'm not gonna lie, because I thought we were being, because earlier in the transfer window we were being linked with Hato, and I was thinking, oh, okay, another Ajax player. I don't mind that. I'll take it all day. You know, he's quite versatile. He can play left back. He can play left centre back. You know, it's like a reminiscent of Urin Timber. And with obviously Mosquera coming in, as you guys can see, for example, you watched all last season. I believe Saliba played about 51 games, subsequently got injured towards the end of the season. Same thing with Gabriel. He got injured around April. He was out for the rest of the season with a hamstring injury. So bringing in someone like a Mosquera can fill in. It'll be like sort of like a backup, a protege for William Saliba, and then you got Kivia obviously covering also for Gabriel. Then we've got that left back covered in terms of Lewis Skelly, Calafiori, and then the right hand side you got Urin Timber and Ben White. So that's pretty much all our defense. And then you got the goalkeepers, you got David Raya, and you got Kepa. So we're all solid in those positions. Then you come into the midfield, for example, then you got Zubimendi, and now you've got Norgard, and then you move on to the midfield, you got Marino, you got Havertz, you got Declan Rice, you got Odegaard, and on the wings now potentially you have Bukayo Saka, Noni Madueke coming in there. You got Trossard, Martinelli at the moment, and obviously now we're gonna have Victor Gyokeres coming in as a striker. It would have been ideal if we could have got another striker. Like, and this is just me being greedy, because I just saw in the news Ekatike is being linked to move to Newcastle, and you know that's gonna be a mad one. Imagine Ekatike and Isak. Anyways, let's focus on Arsenal. Yeah, so Mosquera for Arsenal, that's pretty much going to be a done deal later on this week. So there's actually a potential of Arsenal announcing 2 new transfers by the end of this week before they go away for the European, the Asian tour. two potential transfer by the end of this week. How exciting is that? And if just thinking about it, if you think about it, right, there's a likelihood that before the end of this, Arsenal would have signed Kepa. We would have signed. So at the moment, we had Kepa over the line. We've got Norgard over the line. We've got Zubimendi over the line. You've got Noni Madueke doing his medical. So that's four already. Then you have Gyokeres, that's five. Then you got Mosquera, that's already six players potentially coming in. And there is also, which I'm hearing, there's a potential signing of this man. And you're thinking, if we add this to what we already have, we're done. Like, I'll be so over the moon. And that is Eberiche Eze. Says it here, Arsenal plan is to start working on assessing a deal for Eberiche Eze this week as next step after reaching an agreement over Gyokeres. Do you know how crazy that actually sounds? Like, I've just named potential six signings that would have gotten over the line, and then to add Eberiche Eze on top of that, and you're thinking, hold on a minute, surely I'm not dreaming. Is this Arsenal active like this in the market? You're thinking, nah, this cannot be real. This cannot be real, but it is, guys, because Arsenal. So obviously, I read also it's a case of, is Arsenal going to go for either? It's not both. But listen, if they go for both, we're cooking. That's all I'm saying. So there's a potential that Arsenal are going to be going for either Eberiche Eze or Rodrigo. And I'm asking you guys now, if it was you, who would you go for? If you had the choice to go for either Eze or either Rodrigo, who would you be going for? Because I will personally, I'll be going for Eze all day long because for obvious reasons, I've always wanted him. And I think he's one of those players that I'm sure a lot of us in the Arsenal fan base, considering he used to play for Arsenal Academy anyways, and is British, is English, is Premier League proven, he's basically going into his prime. And I just think such a dynamic player that'll be able to give us a different sort of prospect in that attacking line. I would personally, if I had the choice to go with either Eze or Rodrigo, I'd be going with Eze. Let me know what you think. If you had a choice to go with Eze or Rodrigo, who would you be going with, guys? Let me know in the comments because I would be going with Eze. So there's a potential of Arsenal furthermore signing Eberiche Eze in this transfer window. Do you know how exciting that sounds? To get Gyokeres in, to get Eze in, to get Zubimendi, and then you've got Mosquera, the defense line, you've got Norgard, you've got Noni Madueke. Do you know what? Noni Madueke obviously was like Marmite. A lot of people weren't really excited, but I think now that the dust has settled a little bit, people are now starting to realize the potential of Noni Madueke and the kind of caliber of player he is. Because I believe not everybody, listen, I think not everybody said he was a bad player. I think what knocked us, kind of took us off guard, was the fact that we knew it was at that time we was hoping for Gyokeres or striker to be confirmed, and then we got the Noni Madueke deal news, and it was a case of how much it was costing Arsenal. It wasn't a case of, oh, is a bad player. It was a combination of another Chelsea player and for up to £50 million, and you're thinking, really? Is this what we really need? And then everyone obviously got into a frenzy, including myself. I'm not gonna lie, including myself. I was just like, if if you're signing Noni Madueke and it's gonna prevent us from getting a striker or potentially getting an Eze, then everyone's gonna be like, nah, this is it's a crap window, it's a shit window. However, if you're getting Noni Madueke and you're also bringing us a striker and an Eze, then cool. Okay, we'll accept that. And I say this from the beginning of the season. If you go back on my video, Arsenal needed to sign at least six new players this season because technically we've let go of four. We've let go of Partey, we've let go of Jorginho, we've let go of Tierney, and then we've let go of, I think it was somebody else went. And the keeper went. Obviously, he went back on loan. And who am I forgetting? It was four: Tierney, Partey, Jorginho, and what am I thinking of? No, there was four. I had it in my head. but I'll remember in a minute. But yeah, we've allowed four to go because Jorginho went for free, Partey went for free, Tierney went for free. Oh, that's doing my head in now. Who else went? I know there was four. We allowed four to go. I'll probably think about it in a minute. But the fact that we've allowed four to go and we've been able to sign six, nobody, when this transfer window started, nobody in their right mind, let's not lie here, even me, as much as I was saying we still need at least six new players, I said it, but it didn't mean we were going to do it. However, the reality is, it's coming to pass. It's going to happen because we've already got Kepa in, we've got Norgard in, we've got Zubimendi in, practically Noni Madueke is in, and then Gyokeres is on his way. And Mosquera, that's six. And if you add Eze, that's seven. Imagine in this world, like in this, like how nobody ever thought Arsenal would sign seven players in one summer transfer window. That's like the move that Man City makes. That's a Man City move right there, or a Chelsea, for example, in this day and age, the way they're signing players, or like as if they've got like 12 teams. And then obviously Liverpool as well, but they're not signing crazy players, but they're signing players nonetheless. But for Arsenal Football Club, I literally feel like I'm dreaming, but it's one of those dreams that you're enjoying, living in. And then to add Eberiche Eze to it, considering obviously what he did last season, Crystal Palace best player, scored a winning goal in the FA Cup, and also another sort of deciding factor that might have an effect on this transfer is obviously, as you guys know, recently Crystal Palace got demoted to the Conference League in Europe. So that might be another sticking factor. It's like they went from thinking they were going to be playing Europa League, obviously second tier of European football, to now the third tier of European football. So if I'm Eze and I'm sitting there thinking Arsenal want me, I want to go back to Arsenal anyway, and I'm going to be playing in the Champions League, it's a no-brainer. No disrespect to Crystal Palace, but like if you guys watched Christian Norgar's interview, and they asked him like what excites him about coming to Arsenal and what's the level. He basically said it like word for word, like sort of like it's a different kind of pressure because when you're playing for Brentford, it's a case of trying to stay up and not get relegated. But when you come to Arsenal, the levels are different. Is you're trying to win the league. Because even David Raya said this when he came from Brentford. He said the level that the pressure is different from when you're trying to stay up in the league to when you're trying to win the league. Mate, the pressure is different. So Christian Nogard already knew the kind of like, I mean, he had an idea, but when you actually step into the building and then you realize the intensity and the atmosphere of the club, and you're thinking, this is different. Like it sends shiver down your spine, thinking, I like this feeling because as a professional, as a professional in any sort of sport, or if you're participating in any sort of sport, I mean, you want to win. You want to win stuff. So you look back on your career and you're thinking, I participated in this competition. Either maybe we won it or we went close to winning. Like, for example, if we're not careful in the next couple of seasons, you look at someone like a Declan Rice, he's going to be thinking, I came to this club to win. We've went close twice, but it's going to have to be a case of a matter of time that we actually start winning. Otherwise, you're going to start losing this kind of players. And I got a funny feeling that's probably another reason why players like Saka, Odegaard, Saliba, they haven't signed a whole new deal yet. They haven't, and that's another sort of deal that basically needs to needs to be secured. Alongside other deals as well. So another thing that obviously that we're hearing, I'll get onto that in a minute, is that another player that one of our current players that we're hoping to secure a new deal for. So that's going to be another exciting news once that has been completed as well. But yeah, honestly, right now, I mean, the transfer window started in a way where a lot of us Arsenal fans, including myself, we were a bit like, what is going on here? What is going on? It's like it's so slow, it's so timid. Yes, the Club World Cup like is going on, but why can't we not go for players? Why can't we not sign players? And I remember saying it like not start this week, start of last week in one of my videos. I said things are gonna start happening, like it's getting hot or something along those lines. Like it's gonna be happening. And I was like, that week was gonna be the week where Arsenal's transfer window really starts. So if you think about it, within the last 2 weeks, for example, we've announced Zubimendi, we've announced Norgard, we're going to be potentially announcing Gyokeres, we're going to be announcing Mosquera, we're going to be announcing another potential contract extension at Arsenal. And then just the thought of Eberiche Eze, you don't understand how much I really, really value and like this player, honestly, so much. It's unbelievable. And just the way he plays, and then to have Eze, Madueke, Saka, oh my God, in Arsenal. And what's getting me as well is, as much as I'm excited, right? Sometimes I have to bring myself down to earth and thinking, okay, we're gonna get all this new recruitment, we're gonna get all these players, great to level us up, probably to get us over the line potentially. In my head, I'm just thinking, you know what? Chelsea have just won the Club World Cup in what's his name? Their manager's first season. He won the Conference League. Yes, it's the lower tier of European football, but he won it. And then he went away and won the Club World Cup. People can argue and say they weren't even meant to be there participating. But if you're there, you're there also. You have a chance to win. And they won it in his first season. He had three achievements. He won the Conference League, he qualified for the Champions League, and then he won the Club World Cup. Now, my point is, I said that to say this. There is no way Arteta is going to go into next season and not win one trophy. Because boy, I'm telling you now, everyone is gonna go mad. There's no more excuses. There's no more, oh, he doesn't have the striker, he doesn't have the midfield, he doesn't have the attacking player. He's basically, or he doesn't have a backup keeper or backup to Saliba, Gabriels, or to a backup to Saka and all of this, all the places that we have injuries. And if you have Eze, it's gonna be a backup potentially to Odegaard, or you got Marino, you got Havertz. So you're literally blessed with talent. And then there's the introduction of Maxwell, of and you're thinking, oh sorry, not Dowman, sorry. So obviously he's young, but he's gonna be phased in. But again, he's an exciting prospect. But the point I'm making is Arteta can't go into next season. There is no more excuses. I think, yes, people keep saying, oh, he spent over 700 million, he needs to start winning. Great. Okay. That was the past. The fact of the matter, I'm not care what anyone tell me next season. Because if when I'm going mad on live streams, I don't want no one coming at me. Because this man would have had all the tools that have backed him financially, got him all the players he would have wanted. And for you not to come out with one trophy at the end of the season, because I'm looking for one of the two big trophies, which is the Champions League or the Premier League. Those two are the key ones for me next season. Then there's the FA Cup or the Carling Cup, and those are the one that like the backups, for example. Because the first trophy to be won in the season is the Carling Cup. You win that, you're thinking you're onto something here. Then you've potentially got the FA Cup, because I think the finals before the season actually ends. And maybe then you've won the league, and then you got the Champions League final. You have to win one of those four. There's four domestic trophies up for grabs. He has to win one. He has to win one. And for me, with the amount of sort of players and strikers and the money that we're spending on players, Carabao Cup ain't gonna cut it. Carabao Cup minimum is FA Cup and the Premier League, or the Premier League and the Champions League, or the FA Cup and the Champions League. In those two combinations, he has to win two. I don't care. That is my expectation for Arteta for next season, because you can't now say you don't have a striker, or you don't have enough players, or you've got bare injuries. Listen, everyone's gonna have injuries, but that's the whole point of the transfer window. You go into the season prepared with two quality players per position, and that's looking like what Berta is doing. This man is cooking. He's done. I don't care. Listen, Edu was a great guy. He was an Arsenal legend. He was an Arsenal man through and through. He done a great job. Got us Declan Rice. He extended a lot of great contracts with Saliba, Odegaard, Saka in the back of the days. Got Havertz over the line, even though we didn't really want him, but it is what it is. Got Trossard in at the time that we were going for. I think it was Mudrick. We couldn't get him. You got Trossard in, cool. But look at what Berta is doing in his first transfer window. And this man came into the club with a lot to do, a lot to do. Contract renewals, team refresh, contract expiration. Like Partey was going, Jorginho was going, Tierney was going, Neto was going. I'm forgetting one more name. I had it earlier as well. And I'm thinking to myself, how is this man able to do all of these jobs or all of this? And, you know, and what's his name couldn't even do half of that, and all of that. And I'm thinking, what? Tommy Yasu, that's the man. Tommy Yasu went. That's what I was thinking because he's hardly played for almost 2 years. So I literally just went off my head. Tommy Yasu went. That's the player that I was thinking about. So when you think about it, we lost four. That's the reason why we're getting another defender in because Tomiyasu technically is a defender. So with Tomiyasu going, we've got to replace him with Mosquera. And then there's people in the fan base saying, if Mosquera comes in, does that mean we lose Kivio? Why? Why lose Kivio? Mosquera is the backup for Saliba, not Gabriel. So why would you lose Kivia? Did we not see the way he performed when Gabriel got injured last season? Like to the point people are saying now we should sell Kivia. I really don't get the way some people think sometimes. There's a fan channel, obviously, as we all know, on Twitter, always saying, oh, if Mosquera comes in, should we now sell Kivio? Why? We say we need quality, strength in depth, and quality on the bench. But you want to sell Kivio. Did you not see the way he performed against Real Madrid, against PSG? Even though, yeah, we lost, but PSG was a different animal then. Saliba was playing, Rice was playing, Saka was there, Odegaard was there, but we all still lost. But the point I'm making is Kivio is a quality player. And I think it's one of those things. If we got rid of Kivio, I believe we'll regret it. Personally, that is just my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think. But ultimately, listen, I'm excited. I'm excited. And another thing I'm excited about is the potential of securing another contract extension of one of our own. And that is basically Ethan Wanieri. There are reports that suggest that Arsenal's Ethan Wanieri's new deal at Arsenal can be sealed in principle this week. Arsenal believe progress made over the weekend was significant, with all indications positive at this stage. That is music to my ear because he was another player that I was wondering what exactly is going on with this guy. What exactly is going on with this guy? Because currently Arsenal, like we've secured Miles Lewis Skelly, fantastic news that needed to be done. Now secure Ethan Waneri because there was teams queuing up from abroad, from Germany to Chelsea, for example, basically just waiting in the wings to see what happens with Ethan, and they were gonna pounce. And if we had lost Ethan Waneri, it would have been like a similarity, in my opinion, to losing Gnabry when we did back in the day. And look at what he went on to do. So yeah, hearing that there's a potential that Arsenal of making strides in regards to securing and extending Ethan Wanieri's deal is fantastic news to me. And when you look at this, for example, look at this for a minute. You just in the next 7 days, guys, in the next 7 days, Arsenal are set to sign Victor Gyokeres, Noni Madueke, Christian Nogard, and extend Ethan Wanieri's new contract. Isn't that music to your ears, guys? If it isn't, then I don't, mate. If you're not excited just by that, and you're an Arsenal fan, then bro, I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know. I really don't know for you, man. I really don't know for you because, like I said, Andrea Berta is cooking. It's cooking, and this guy's not cooking barbecue. He's cooking real solid food, bro. Yeah, this guy is making me excited. I know Josh Kroenke said about 5 years ago, be excited. I wasn't back then. We got excited for a little bit when we got Declan Rice that made us, yeah. But now that kind of went down a little bit, coming second. And then now they're putting the money where the mouth is because for a long time, a lot of people have been saying, oh, the Kroenke is always taking money out of Arsenal. They don't want to reinvest. They keep taking it to LA Rams. I've been saying that as well. I'm part of it. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite. I'll admit it. I've said the same thing. However, they seem to be proving us wrong. And I think Andrea Berta came into this club and basically said, "This is what I need. This is what I want, and this is what we're gonna do. You're either with me. If you're gonna come with me and ride this ship, then I'm coming to Arsenal. If not, then maybe I'll go somewhere else." And they were like, "You know what? This man is right. This man is right." And then here we go. Listen, this week is a significant week. Arteta has always wanted to get all this man in, and there's a report to suggest that I think Ethan might be coming back from holidays this week as well, but we'll wait and see. But this week is so significant, and as you guys just saw, this week in the next 7 days, Arsenal are set to sign Victor Gyokeres, Noni Madueke, Christian Mosquera, and the contract extension of Ethan Wanieri. Get excited, guys. Get excited because I am excited. Let me know in the comments as per usual. Let me know what you guys think. As per usual, if you're new around here, you know what to do. Help a brother out. I'm on my way to 100 subscribers. Like, follow, subscribe, share it, you name it. I'm all over TikTok. I'm all over Insta as well. Come and follow me there. I'm also on Twitter. All my handles will be at the end. Come and follow me. Let's have a conversation. If you're watching, you should have joined in the comments. It would have been good to have a conversation with you guys. But until the next one, have a good evening. And as soon as news are coming out of Arsenal, best believe I'll be doing a video in regards to that. Yeah. Have a good 7 days. It's going to be a great week. It's only Monday, but we've got a long week to go. So listen, Gooners, have a great one. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care, Gooners.